Hours after gold-rich Padmanabhana Swami temple, authorities claim that opening of the sixth vault of the temple could incur the wrath of the gods.
In 2011, Kerala, India, made headlines when a Supreme Court order led to the long-awaited opening of the ancient vaults hidden there.
A shocking discovery.
When it came to the sixth door, which they call Chamber B, they were decorated with cobras. This is a sign of danger, like a skull and crossbones.
Believed to have been sealed for centuries, these vaults were expected to contain sacred artifacts tied to the temple's rich history.
And they documented everything in several of the chambers. One chamber was just for ornaments and jewelry, another chamber was for jewels.
What was discovered, however, went far beyond anyone's expectations. And in this video, we're going to get to the bottom of what it really was. 1. Padmanabhaswamy Temple Vaults. In 2011, the Padmanabhaswamy Temple in Kerala, India, had the world's attention when a Supreme Court order led to the opening of its underground vaults. The temple, dedicated to Lord Vishnu, was already famous for its architectural brilliance and spiritual importance for centuries. But the unbelievable discoveries revealed that its significance went far beyond prayer and devotion. The initial vault to be opened, known as Vault A, contained an extraordinary amount of treasure that had remained undisturbed for centuries. Inside, officials and researchers discovered gold coins, gemstones, intricate jewelry, ceremonial crowns, and other artifacts of immense historical value. One of the most fascinating finds was an 18-foot-long gold chain, suggesting extraordinary wealth and craftsmanship from ancient times. A golden statue of Lord Vishnu, encrusted with emeralds and other precious stones, stood out among the discoveries. The vault also contained sacks full of uncut diamonds. Experts estimated the cumulative value of these items to exceed $22 billion. The origins of this treasure date back to donations and offerings made by devotees over centuries, as well as contributions from the Travancore royal family, who historically managed the temple. Each piece told a story of the region's rich history, trade connections, and devotion. Many items displayed craftsmanship that hinted at influences from distant lands, proving India had to have a role as a major center of commerce and culture in the ancient world. Beyond their monetary value, these treasures served as a remarkable window into the past. The immense wealth revealed in Vault A led to a lot of controversy because no one could decide what should be done with it. Some argued the treasures should remain within the temple, honoring its legacy and religious significance. Others believed portions of the wealth could be used for public welfare projects, benefiting millions. It was between preserving traditions or helping the public. While all of this was happening, things got even crazier. Vault B was found, and it was the most mysterious aspect of the temple. Unlike the other vaults, this chamber remained locked and untouched. Legends surrounding Vault B claim it is protected by powerful curses and divine guardians, warning that disturbing it would invite calamity. At the entrance, carvings of serpents and inscriptions only deepened these fears. Advanced technology like ground-penetrating radar was used to investigate the vault, revealing indications of metallic contents similar to those in Vault A. Yet, religious leaders in the Travancore royal family strongly opposed its opening. They cited tradition, spiritual warnings, and the temple's sanctity as reasons to respect the chamber's secrecy. The temple itself became the center of a legal battle over its management. Historically overseen by the Travancore royal family, their authority was questioned after the treasure's discovery. Critics argued for state control, while the royal family fought to retain their traditional custodianship. After years of disputes, the Supreme Court ruled in 2020 that the family would continue managing the temple, recognizing their historical responsibility. To this day, Vault B remains sealed, its contents a source of endless speculation. While modern tools could easily breach the door, the fears of disturbing ancient warnings and the respect for faith keep it closed. But if the other vault was any clue into what's inside, we can be sure it's even more valuable than the first time around. But will we ever get to see what's really inside this one? Only time will tell. 2. Tutankhamun's tomb. In 1922, archaeologist Howard Carter unearthed what would become one of the most famous discoveries in history: the tomb of Pharaoh Tutankhamun in Egypt's Valley of the Kings. Unlike many ancient tombs looted over the centuries, this one had remained nearly intact, preserving treasure and artifacts that brought us face to face with life and death in ancient Egypt. The first signs of the tomb emerged on November 4th, when Carter and his team discovered a set of steps leading to a sealed door with intact royal cartouches. After decades of searching, they had stumbled upon what they hoped would be a fully preserved burial site. On November 26th, Carter made the first breakthrough, peering through a small opening to see wonderful things, a room packed with treasures that had been hidden for over 3,000 years. Inside the tomb, Carter and his team found over 5,000 artifacts, including golden chariots, alabaster vessels, ceremonial beds, weapons, and jewelry. The burial chamber housed a large sarcophagus containing 3 nested coffins, the innermost made of solid gold, and within it lay the mummy of Tutankhamun. The pharaoh's iconic death mask, made of gold and inlaid with glass and gemstones, became one of the most recognized symbols of ancient Egypt. The discovery was massive, and everyone loved it, but it also fueled rumors of a curse. Stories claimed that those who disturbed the tomb would face dire consequences. The mysterious deaths of several individuals linked to the excavation, including Lord Carnarvon, the expedition's financier, only made these fears worse. While modern science attributes these incidents to natural causes like infections or accidental exposure to harmful molds inside the tomb, the legends persist and add to its allure. Tutankhamun, known as the Boy King, reigned for a brief period during the 18th dynasty, dying around the age of 19. His relatively modest tomb suggests that his death was unexpected, giving little time for the construction of a grand resting place. Despite this, the wealth of treasures found alongside him provides invaluable insight into the art, culture, and beliefs of ancient Egypt. The excavation was carefully documented on film, with photographs capturing the delicate process of uncovering and preserving each artifact. These visuals played a crucial role in immortalizing the tomb's discovery and preserving the memory of Carter's team's meticulous work. Today, most of the artifacts from Tutankhamun's tomb are housed in the Grand Egyptian Museum in Giza, where they continue to draw millions of visitors and remind the world of one of history's most significant archaeological finds. But the questions behind it still remain, and by the looks of it, no one would actually be able to answer them. 3. Derinkuyu. In the 1960s, a home renovation in Turkey led to the discovery of the underground city of Derinkuyu, located in Cappadocia. The city stretches over 200 feet below the surface and covers multiple levels. Archaeologists estimate it could have easily housed 20,000 to 30,000 people. The underground city is equipped with living quarters, kitchens, stables, storage rooms, wineries, and churches, spread across different levels. The city features complex ventilation systems and escape tunnels designed to provide sustenance and protection during times of invasion. Circular stone doors could be rolled across tunnels to seal off entire sections of the city. Dating back to the 8th or 7th century BCE, Derinkuyu was originally built by the Phrygians or Hittites. It was expanded by early Christians in the 4th or 5th centuries to escape Roman persecution. The city's design reflects the adaptation of its inhabitants to living underground for long periods, using available resources efficiently. A total of 18 floors are believed to exist, though not all have been fully excavated. The lower levels likely stored food, wine, and livestock, while the upper levels housed communal spaces, living quarters, and religious sites. Archaeological studies show that the city had a system of water reservoirs and communication tunnels to maintain an underground lifestyle. Derinkuyu also features multiple hidden gates, walls to block intruders, and security measures that prevent intruders from accessing sections of the city. Despite the primitive tools of the time, the structural techniques and layout were highly advanced for their time. The exact number of tunnels linking Derinkuyu to other nearby underground cities is still unclear, as many are yet to be discovered. 4. Machu Picchu. In 1911, the ancient site of Machu Picchu was discovered by American historian and explorer Hiram Bingham. While the site had been known to locals, it had remained hidden from the world for centuries. Bingham, with the help of local farmers, explored the site in search of Inca ruins, and his discovery put the place on the map. The area surrounding Machu Picchu had long been used by local people, and it wasn't until Bingham's arrival that the true scale of the site became evident. Despite being in a relatively remote location in the Peruvian Andes, Machu Picchu featured a sophisticated layout with temples, plazas, terraces, and well-designed stone buildings. Bingham took a series of photographs and brought detailed descriptions of the site back to the United States. When Bingham came back, many of the structures were overgrown with dense jungle. It took time and significant effort to begin uncovering and studying the site's features. The remote and difficult-to-reach location played a role in keeping the site hidden for so long. Over time, Bingham's expedition received financial backing from Yale University and the National Geographic Society, which helped fund further excavations and preservation efforts. The exact origins and purpose of Machu Picchu remained unclear. The prevailing theory was that it was a royal estate or ceremonial center during the Inca Empire's height in the 15th century. Some suggest it was built for Inca Emperor Pachacuti. While there is no definitive answer, the design of the site reflects advanced engineering and agricultural knowledge, with farming terraces, drainage systems, and astronomical alignment. Machu Picchu, rediscovered in 1911, kicked off a period of interest and research which continues today. In 1983, the site was recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and has become one of the most visited archaeological locations in the world, drawing millions of tourists annually. But the more people that come, the deeper the questions go. Who were these people? Why did they abandon their home and completely disappear? We're going to have to put in a lot more research into it before we can find that out. 5. Heraklion. In 2000, a team of underwater archaeologists made a groundbreaking discovery off the coast of Alexandria, Egypt. Beneath the Mediterranean Sea, they uncovered the lost city of Heraklion, once a bustling port and religious center of the ancient Egyptian world. The city had been submerged for over 1,200 years, believed to have sunk into the sea around the 2nd century BCE due to a combination of earthquakes, rising sea levels, and soil liquefaction. Heraklion, known to the ancient Egyptians as Thonis, was a major trading hub and a significant cultural site. The city was home to monumental temples, grand statues, and a busy port. Archaeologists found statues, including one of the god Hapi, massive stone blocks, inscriptions, and thousands of coins. Even the remnants of ancient ships, complete with anchors, were recovered. Excavation footage of the site shows the underwater work involved in bringing these items to the surface. Using sonar scanning and diving technology, researchers were able to map out the city's layout and extract treasures that had been preserved underwater. Among the key finds were large granite statues of Egyptian gods and several monumental sphinxes. These statues, some weighing over 10 tons, had remained remarkably intact over the centuries due to the water's stabilizing effect. The underwater city has yielded critical insight into the connections between Egypt, Greece, and other Mediterranean civilizations. The discovery of Heraklion has helped bring us closer to the truth about how the ancient trade networks worked, as many of the found items were of Greek origin. As time goes on, we learn newer, more shocking things about this site that have helped shape the image of what time back then was really like. 6. Sutton Hoo Treasure. In 1939, archaeologists in Suffolk, England, made a discovery that would change everything we knew about early medieval Britain. During the excavation of a burial mound at Sutton Hoo, they uncovered the remains of an Anglo-Saxon ship burial, along with a wealth of artifacts, providing an unprecedented glimpse into the world of the Anglo-Saxon elite. The burial, believed to date back to the early 7th century, contained an array of treasures. Among the most famous finds was an intricately decorated helmet, complete with its face guard, which is considered one of the finest examples of early medieval metalwork. The excavation also revealed a collection of gold and garnet jewelry, including a stunning large ornamental necklace and metal brooches, all richly adorned and preserved. The ship, believed to have been used as both a burial vessel and a symbol of power, was thought to be the final resting place of a high-ranking individual, potentially a king. Alongside the weapons and armor, excavators also found several ceremonial items, such as a decorated sword, a shield, and a set of Anglo-Saxon feast-related artifacts, including spoons and drinking vessels, which suggested the elite status of the buried individual. These discoveries were not just significant for their material value, but also for their historical implications. They helped confirm Sutton Hoo's role as a royal burial site and provided scholars with clues about the ceremonial practices and political structure of early Anglo-Saxon England. Since the dig, the Sutton Hoo treasures have been carefully preserved and displayed, offering a rich legacy of a time long past. 7. Uluburun Shipwreck. In 1982, underwater archaeologists made a shocking discovery off the coast of Turkey, near the Uluburun Cape. They uncovered a shipwreck that dates back to the late Bronze Age, around 1300 BCE. The Uluburun shipwreck is one of the most significant maritime finds of the ancient world, providing invaluable insights into trade networks, technology, and daily life during the Bronze Age. The wreck, which lies around 148 feet below the surface, was carrying a remarkable cargo. Among the most significant items discovered were copper ingots, which were a form of currency at the time, and a wide array of ceramics. These ceramics included both local and imported goods, revealing the ship's role in long-distance trade. In addition to the copper and pottery, archaeologists found over 100 glass beads, many of which were made of a type of glass that was extremely rare and highly prized in the ancient world. The cargo also included precious items like gold and silver jewelry, ivory, and even a scarab with Egyptian inscriptions. These finds suggest the ship had connections with various cultures, including Egypt, the Levant, and the Aegean region, further emphasizing the complex trade networks of the Bronze Age. The shipwreck itself was a merchant vessel, possibly a trading ship, and its cargo tells the story of global commerce during a time when trade routes spanned from the Mediterranean to the Near East. Excavation footage and careful preservation have allowed archaeologists to study the artifacts and reconstruct the life of this ancient seafaring vessel. The Uluburun shipwreck provides a fascinating snapshot of the Bronze Age, showing the interconnectedness of ancient civilizations long before the rise of empires. Today, the recovered artifacts are housed in museums, where they continue to provide insights into the technological advancements, cultural exchange, and economic systems of the ancient world. 8. The Terracotta Army. In 1974, farmers digging a well near Xi'an, China, stumbled upon one of the greatest archaeological discoveries of the 20th century, the Terracotta Army. These life-size statues, which had been buried for over 2 millennia, were part of the tomb of China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang. The Terracotta Army consists of thousands of figures, including soldiers, horses, chariots, and even non-military figures, all intricately detailed. Each statue was crafted with unique facial expressions, clothing, and hairstyles, reflecting the highly skilled craftsmanship of the time. Many of the figures were originally painted, and traces of this ancient paint still remain, adding to their historical significance. The statues were created to accompany the emperor in the afterlife, guarding him against any potential threats in the spiritual world. The burial complex surrounding Qin Shi Huang's tomb is believed to represent his actual imperial army, and scholars think the warriors were designed to mirror the structure and ranks of real soldiers. This massive collection of figures is spread out over several pits, with the largest pit containing thousands of life-sized warriors in battle formation. Smaller pits have been dedicated to chariots and their drivers. The preservation of these sculptures, despite centuries of burial, is truly remarkable. Excavation footage shows how archaeologists have worked extremely hard to unearth, restore, and stabilize the figures, preserving their details and original features. Today, the site is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the most important finds ever. 9. Mesoamerican Pyramids. In the early 20th century, the Pyramid of the Sun in Teotihuacan, Mexico, began to get a lot of attention. Known to locals for centuries, archaeologists formally recognized it in 1906. Standing at 216 feet, the pyramid's layout aligned with celestial events like solstices, while excavation revealed burial chambers and offerings that illuminated the religious practices of the Teotihuacans. Not far from there, in 1915 and 1917, the Temple of the Feathered Serpent, or Quetzalcoatl Temple, came to light. Hidden beneath it, archaeologists uncovered mass burials, along with offerings like jade and seashells, that pointed to the pyramid's role in religious rituals. In the 1930s, the Great Pyramid of Cholula in Puebla, Mexico, was formally explored, revealing it as the largest pyramid in terms of volume in the world. Beneath its multiple layers of construction, archaeologists found hidden tunnels, chambers, and murals, giving deeper insight into the city's religious significance and its dedication to Quetzalcoatl. El Castillo, or the Pyramid of Kukulkan at Chichen Itza, rediscovered in the 1840s, became famous for the shadow of a serpent that appears during the equinoxes. Excavations in the 20th century also revealed tombs and artifacts tied to the pyramid's dedication to the Mayan god Kukulkan. In 1952, the Temple of the Inscriptions in Palenque, Mexico, became famous when the tomb of King Pakal was uncovered. His sarcophagus, adorned with jade and other precious materials, provided a glimpse into the royal burial practices and the importance of the king in Maya society. Just a few years earlier, in the same city, Alberto Ruz Louillier discovered Lord Pakal's tomb, a monumental find that also revealed the king's remarkable jade-covered burial objects. The pyramids of Tikal in Guatemala, including Temple 1, began to attract scholarly attention in the 19th century, but significant excavations, including those on Temple 1, began in the 1950s. Ever since then, we've learned so much about these ancient people. It's almost like they were here to tell us all of it. 10. The Tomb of the Lord of Sipan. In 1987, archaeologists uncovered one of the most significant and well-preserved ancient tombs in Peru, the Tomb of the Lord of Sipan. Located in the northern part of the country, this royal burial site had been hidden for nearly 1,500 years, dating back to around 300 CE. The discovery took place in the Huaca Rajada archaeological site, a pyramid-shaped mound that had long been a focal point for excavations. The tomb belonged to a Moche ruler, known as the Lord of Sipan, and its contents provided remarkable insight into the Moche civilization. Inside, archaeologists found an impressive amount of gold, silver, and jewelry, as well as weapons and elaborate ceremonial artifacts. The tomb had been carefully constructed, and its wealth was displayed through an extensive collection of burial goods, showcasing the ruler's elite status and power. Among the remarkable items were intricately crafted gold ornaments, including headdresses and crowns, as well as weapons made of copper and gold. They also found pottery, clothing, and textiles, many of which had never been seen before. Most shocking was the fact that the burial was surrounded by sacrificial remains, including the bodies of servants and attendants, which had been carefully laid out, hinting at the Moche's elaborate burial practices and their belief in the afterlife. This discovery revolutionized the understanding of pre-Columbian South America and has since been considered one of the most extraordinary finds in the Americas. 11. The Vatican Museums. The Vatican necropolis, an ancient burial ground beneath St. Peter's Basilica, dates back to the 1st and 2nd centuries AD. Discovered during excavations in the 1940s and 1950s, this underground site revealed a network of Roman-era tombs, many believed to be associated with early Christian martyrs. The most significant discovery was the tomb of St. Peter, the apostle regarded as the first pope. In the 4th century, Emperor Constantine had ordered the construction of a basilica above the tomb, marking it as a sacred site. Excavations beneath the modern St. Peter's Basilica revealed remnants of a burial site with a structure believed to house the remains of St. Peter. In addition to St. Peter's tomb, the Vatican necropolis contains hundreds of other burials, ranging from simple graves to elaborately decorated tombs, suggesting a vibrant Christian community that existed in the area during Roman times. The Vatican necropolis remained largely hidden and untouched for centuries, with limited access granted to the public. In the 1990s, the site was opened for controlled visits. While the necropolis has become an essential part of Vatican archaeology, much of it remains carefully preserved and off-limits to casual tourists, leading everyone to ask the same question: what else is hiding away in there?